Hi guys, welcome back to the page and the chapter, or welcome if you are new here. My name is Paige. It is a Monday and we are kicking off this reading vlog. I am close to finishing a book, and that is Scarred by Emily McIntire. This is a Never After novel. This is book 2. Basically they're like smutty fairy tale retellings, but like very loose on the fairy tale element, and they're also dark. They're like dark romances, dark fairy tale romances with a lot of smut. I am 300 pages into this. I did not read all of that today. I started this over the weekend because I have been feeling so slumpy. So I decided to just get ahead of it and read something that I knew wouldn't really require much brain power. And this kind of fit the bill quite nicely, and it has been doing its job. I've been able to read the book. I can't say that I love it or I'm obsessed with it, or, you know, I still feel slumpy. I still feel like I'm gonna finish this book and have no idea where to go next, but at least I am reading. So this follows our main character, Tristan, and he is a prince, and he is second in line for the throne. His brother is the current king, and he is very dark, just goes around murdering everyone, is kind of feared by the whole kingdom, is not thought of in particularly high regard, and he has taken a liking to Sarah, who is a princess from a different kingdom, and she has been brought into Tristan's world because she is set to marry Tristan's brother. But these two hate each other, but also vibe off each other really well and kind of can't stop thinking about each other. And yeah, there are plenty of trigger warnings for this book, so definitely look those up. They're not listed in the book, but the author does say like there's a load of trigger warnings in here. You can find a full list on my website, so you know, maybe do look into that if you are concerned. But essentially I'm just going to sit here and read some more of this. I'm having a stressful time of it, so I just want something super easy to read, and this is really doing that. So yeah, I'm just gonna try and finish off this book, and I will update you probably sometime this evening after I finish work. So I have taken a lovely relaxing bath. I got out the bath and I fake tanned, not for any reason other than just kind of wanting to feel a bit better about myself. I've been feeling very slobbish. I think working from home can do that to you sometimes, so I kind of just fake tanned so I could like just be feeling myself a little more. But whilst I was in the bath, I did finish Scarred by Emily McIntire. I mean, this, I was most of the way through it when we started the day anyway, so it's not, you know, nobody freak out that I finished a book on the first day of this vlog. I would probably give this 2.5 to 3 stars. If I was being generous, then probably 3. Enjoyment wise, I had a pretty good time with it, to be honest. Like, it was easy to read. I was interested in the characters. I found the world a little bit confusing. It didn't have the feel for the time that it was supposed to be set in. Could have done without any mentions of time or years, to be honest, because to me it kind of felt like a medieval kingdom kind of setting, and so mentions to like years just really pulled me out of the world, especially when it's supposed to be like its own kingdom. So I didn't love that aspect, but that was the only thing that I didn't like. You could definitely critique this book for being completely ludicrous, and it is, but it's ludicrous in the way that like Twisted Love is. It matches the vibe of the book that the author is going for, and it matches the characters that she's constructed, and so I actually don't find it to be that ludicrous. You're not going to read this and think this is the most believable romance novel I've ever read in the entire world, but it is good fun. If you can go with like suspension of disbelief and just kind of go with the story and vibe and not question a lot of the things that are coming up, and just kind of assume that that all makes sense for the world that they're living in, and you don't think too hard about the logistics of it, then I think that this is fun. If you know you're someone who is gonna like be really annoyed by small plot holes, or just, you know, how can it be a romance when they keep killing people and everything that's happening is so like beyond the realms of possibility, then this isn't for you. But I'd say if you liked like Twisted Love, then I would say this is like a fun one. I very much plan to continue with the rest of this series. It did pull me out of like the little slump that I was in. I'm still feeling in it, but at least I could finish a book and have fun with a book. So I would, honestly, I think I'm probably going to be quite generous and give this book 3 stars because I had a good time with it. I don't think I'll be screaming from the rooftops how much I love this book, or like necessarily actively going out of my way to recommend it, but I do think that it was fun. I have no idea what to read next. I think I should probably read something from my TBR, but nothing from my March TBR is necessarily screaming at me right now, so I'm unsure of what to do. Okay, I took some time to think about it and I have decided that we are reading The Ballad of Never After by Stephanie Garber. This is book 2 in the Once Upon a Broken Heart series. I have my amazing Fairy Loot edition. God, they're so pretty. I love them. So this is a kind of fairy tale vibe young adult story about our main character Evangeline, and in the first book she goes to the fate of broken hearts because the man she's in love with is marrying somebody else, and she makes a deal with the fate of broken hearts, and we follow her. She's kind of stuck in this deal with him, and I'm very excited to continue where we left off, see what is going to happen to Evangeline in this new book. I have no idea like what goes on in this. I have seen no spoilers anywhere, and I haven't even read like the blurb for this book. I'm just going to go in completely blind, which is how I like to go into my books. I read the first book in like a matter of 24 hours. I found it so addictive and so cozy, and so I'm really hoping that this one is the same and is just as addictive so that I can be out of my reading slump. And also this will just be the perfect place to start on my March TBR, I think. So I'm gonna be starting to read this tonight. I'm gonna do a little bit of unpacking though, because even though Jack and I have been living in this house for like 3 months now, we still have a couple of boxes and stuff that aren't unpacked. We reached a point where most of our stuff was unpacked, so it's kind of all the stuff that isn't unpacked is the stuff that we don't need very often, so it's been very easy to just ignore it. I'm feeling motivated now, so I'm going to... I found a home for some of the random like crap that we have, so I'm gonna tackle some of these boxes today and clear some space. I don't think that will take me very long, and then as soon as I've done that I will be going into The Ballad of Never After. So I'll pick up the camera again when I have any thoughts and feelings on the book. I haven't read anything. I fell down a rabbit hole after I started unpacking, and then I kind of just did a little bit of a deep clean of stuff. But I have sat down to read now, and I have decided that the perfect background noise for me reading will be the absolute masterpiece of a movie, like the best movie literally ever made and deserves like all of the awards, and it's just a criminally underrated movie. Twilight 2007. So that's gonna be my night. I'm gonna kind of have Twilight on in the background, watch a little bit, vibe a little bit, but still try and read a little bit of The Ballad of Never After. I think I've seen Twilight enough times to be able to do both, and to be honest, yesterday I was really tempted to do a reread of Twilight, and I still might this month. I am still thinking that it might be time to reread Twilight because it's just such a comfort book, and ever since Bride I've just been craving vampires, so I might reread Twilight, guys. I'm soft launching the Twilight reread by starting with a Twilight rewatch. Good morning, guys. The worst has happened. It is finally time to call a spade a spade. I am in a reading slump. A bad one. Because it's also put me in a content slump. I haven't wanted to vlog. I missed an upload yesterday. I haven't made any Instagram posts. I just feel at a complete loss for what to do. I feel like I need something trashy. There's 2 ways I could go. I could go like continuing the Never After series because those are just so trashy that they're fun. Or I could go for a reread. I've been kind of tempted to reread Twilight lately. That could be fun. Or Heartless by Elsie has also been really tempting me lately because I've recently bought physical copies of those books because I love the ebooks so much. So technically I haven't read the physical copies. I think I'm leaning more towards Heartless. I think Heartless might be an easier read, but then I feel like where the slump is occurring is a kind of like delayed book hangover from Bride by Ali Hazelwood, which is why I think a vampire book could be good. And it may be an unpopular opinion, but I love the Twilight books. I still love them. I still think they're really fun. I might read the first chapter of Twilight, see if it's gonna work to pull me out of my slump, and if not, switch to Heartless by Elsie because I'm pretty sure that will. But yeah, it is Thursday morning and I didn't vlog anything Tuesday or Wednesday because I've been in that bad of a slump. It's made me unmotivated. But hopefully today we can turn things around. I think I'm in a life slump as well, to be honest. I just feel so drained. Like I want time to like pause for just a day, so I feel like I can catch up on everything that I need to catch up on, and I'm getting like kind of just overwhelmed, and I'm not helping myself because I keep picking up more and more stuff to do, and at some point I'm going to have to like assess my boundaries so that I can not keep picking up more and more stuff that's just going to continue to overwhelm me and stress me out and make me reach a point where I feel like I'm not on top of any aspect of my life at all. This week is not that week. We're gonna keep on top of all the things I've picked up this week. I've made commitments, I'm gonna stick to them. But yeah, next week I feel like I'm gonna be just as drained next week as well because I have a busy weekend. But next weekend will hopefully be a restful one, and I can get back on top of everything I need to get back on top of. So yeah, I think my general life overwhelm stress is feeding into my reading and not really making me want to like read. It's annoying because I didn't really get to give The Ballad of Never After a chance. I didn't make it very far into that book, and I really want to. It's not the book's fault. I didn't get into a slump because this book isn't like interesting me or is boring me or anything like that. Like, it's actually quite the opposite. I just really cannot bring myself to pick it up, and I think that is more just because I'm feeling slumpy than it is about the book itself. But I do find that if I'm feeling slumpy, it is best to just put aside the book that I'm currently reading rather than trying to force myself through that, because, you know, I'm feeling slump. Like, I find the way to get out of a slump is to just completely change what you're doing and try a different book or a different genre or try a reread. So that's what we're gonna do today, and I will catch up with you on my lunch break to see if that's worked. Twilight didn't work for me. I'm still feeling slumpy, still very, very hesitant to pick up a book and actually read it. Nothing is tempting me still, so we're bringing out the big guns. We're going Heartless by Elsie. I gave this 5 stars. I love this book. It's one of my all-time favorite romance novels. So if this can't pull me out of a slump, I will be at a complete loss for what to do next. If this can't do it, then it can't be a reread. Clearly it's gonna have to be something new, but we'll try this first. I'll try and read a chapter of this, see if it tempts me, see if it pulls me in. But god, this is like the worst vlog I've ever filmed because I just don't want to read. Like, the slump is slumping hard. You guys will be very happy to know that it is mission accomplished. Oh, we need a light on in here. I read 110 pages of Heartless on my lunch break, so yeah, I think a reread of one of my all-time favorite romance books, which doesn't require much brain power and is just amazing, there's no other words to describe this book, was clearly just the way to go. I think Twilight is an easy read and a good book, but it is still like fantasy based, and I don't know, I think just required more brain power than I was willing to give, even though it doesn't really require any brain power because it's Twilight. But I think anything with a fantasy element, no matter how small, was just not the vibe. This slays. So I'm gonna sit here and continue to do my reread of this book, get some content, get some fun vibes with these two. Hopefully we'll finish this before the week is up. It is definitely gonna be like one of my smaller reading weeks, probably one of my shorter vlogs too, but yeah, I knew that a reading slump was gonna hit me at some point. There was no way I could keep the pace that I was reading up for the whole year. So I kind of expected this, but also there was no warning. There was no like tapering of my reading going down. It was just, okay, I'm reading as much as I normally am and I'm loving all the books I'm reading, and then I just didn't want to pick up a book anymore. So it took me a little bit by surprise in that sense, because I thought my brain would give me some kind of warning. But hey ho, we seem to have found at the very least a temporary solution right now, so I'm just gonna go with it. Not gonna put too much pressure on myself about the amount that I have read this week, because yeah, clearly I just needed a bit of a break from reading, and I'll let myself take that. But yeah, I'm gonna keep reading this now. In an absolutely shocking turn of events, I've just finished this entire book. This book is just so good. It's just that good, guys. I haven't finished a book in days. You've seen me jump between books like crazy, but this one, I read it in one sitting. I have read 432 pages today. This entire series is just incredible, but this one is just the best of the lot. I'm not the only one that says that. Multiple people have said that. And yeah, if you ever needed an endorsement for this book, I read 400 pages of it when I'm in a huge reading slump. So go Elsie Silver. Cannot wait for her new book series to come out this year. And I'm gonna go to bed now because I just read 400 pages in one evening. Hi guys, coming in a little late because I didn't finish up this vlog. Sorry about that, but I am here to end it out now. As you have just seen, it was a bit of a shit show in terms of reading for me this week, but it is what it is. Like, I'm not gonna stand here and really berate myself for the fact that I am in a reading slump. That happens. It happens to the best of us, and I tried. I was still able to finish like 2 books kind of this week. I had started Scarred like the weekend before, so you know, do we count that or not? Yeah, it didn't feel like a good week of reading, but I guess technically I was still able to finish books, so it was. So I read Scarred, and then I reread Heartless to try and help with my reading slump. This will forever and always be a 5-star, and there is nothing that can convince me this isn't one of the best romances ever published. This was okay, it was good fun, it kind of helped with my reading mood, it definitely temporarily helped with my reading slumpiness. As far as like dark fairy tale romances go, like it was fun, it was okay, but it does require you looking past how unhinged it is to enjoy it, because it doesn't make a lot of sense, especially as a romance, but you kind of just have to go with it and then it's fine. But yeah, some pretty decent books read for a week when I hated every second of reading. So, you know, it's not too bad. Hopefully we will be back on track next week for a slightly better vlog, a slightly more interesting vlog, and more reading. And for now, I'm just gonna end out this video. So if you enjoyed this and you want to see more of my reading vlogs or more from me, then do please feel free to hit that big red subscribe button down below and stay tuned for future content. I upload every single Wednesday and every single Sunday, so there's no shortage of bookish content here for you to enjoy. I hope you guys are having a fantastic week, you're enjoying everything you are reading, and there are no reading slumps in your future, even though I'm in one. And I will see you guys for my next video. Bye guys.